You know how anime loves to start off with a protagonist who's treated like total trash by everyone around them? Yep. We've all seen that one too many times. But here's the thing, that's usually just the setup for an epic payoff. Because soon enough, that so-called loser levels up big time, and suddenly everyone's jaws are on the floor. Seriously, watching these just makes it that much sweeter. That's exactly what today's video is all about. Anime where the bullied main character gets ridiculously strong. We've rounded up 10 awesome shows where the MC starts out as a punching bag but ends up flexing hard. Let's kick this list off with a 2012 gem, Axel World. Meet Haruyuki Arita, your average bullied, overweight middle schooler who finds solace in online gaming since the real world is, well, pretty brutal to him. He's at the top of his game in his favorite MMO, basking in the glory of his unbeatable high score until his pride takes a massive hit. Who could dethrone him? None other than Kuroyuki Hajim, the super popular and stunning vice president of the student council at his school. Turns out, she's no ordinary schoolgirl. She's got a secret. She's the one who introduces Haruyuki to the Brainburst program. This crazy piece of tech lets you enter the Accelerated World, a hyper-speed digital battleground where players fight to rack up points and maintain their special status. Kuroyuki Hajim wants Haruki's help in uncovering the program's creator. But there's a catch: he's got to duel other players to survive. What makes this anime so much fun is that while Haruyuki might start out as your typical bullied kid, his journey is all about growth and transformation both virtually and emotionally. If you're into shows where the weakest guy becomes a total badass, then Axel World is definitely your jam. Next up is Dawn of the Witch, a seriously underrated fantasy anime that deserves a spot on your watch list. The world's finally at peace after a grueling 500-year war between the church and the witches. But of course, trouble's still bubbling beneath the surface. Enter Sabil, a hopeless case at the Kingdom of Wenius's College of Magic. The poor guy's got the worst grades in the entire school. And to top it off, he's suffering from total memory loss. He can't remember a thing about his life before the academy. Lucky for him, or maybe unlucky, the school's headmaster Albus decides it's time for some special training down south, where witches are still persecuted. Sabil's not just any underachiever though. He's got a trick up his sleeve, an absolutely insane, seemingly bottomless supply of mana. That makes him incredibly powerful if he can figure out how to actually use it, of course. So if you're into magical adventures with a dash of mystery, check out Dawn of the Witch. You'll be hooked before you know it. Here's a story that's all about betrayal, revenge, and some good old-fashioned leveling up era Ferretta. From commonplace to world's strongest. Imagine getting isekai'd into another world with your whole class, only to find out that you're the weakest of the bunch. That's exactly what happens to our main guy, Nagumo. Everyone else gets these flashy, powerful abilities, while Hajime gets stuck with alchemy. Not exactly a game changer, right? But things take a nasty turn when one of his classmates decides to backstab him and sends him tumbling off a bridge into the dungeon's lower levels. Down there, it's survival of the fittest, with all sorts of nasty creatures lurking around every corner. Hajime, desperate to survive, ends up chowing down on a monster, and he's not the same guy anymore. With each bite, he grows stronger, transforming into a total powerhouse known as a synergist. If you're craving a story where the weakest becomes the strongest, with a dark twist of betrayal and some seriously epic monster battles, then Era Fureta is the anime you've been waiting for. Ever wondered what it'd be like if a high school underdog took his revenge on bullies and turned it into an internet sensation? That's exactly what goes down in Viral Hit, a killer anime adaptation from a super popular Korean manhwa. Meet Hoban, your typical wimpy high schooler who's always getting picked on by bullies. One day, he finally snaps and fights back, and guess what? The crowd goes wild. What starts as a moment of rage becomes his ticket to internet stardom. Hoban decides to make his own YouTube channel where he uploads videos of himself fighting bullies, all with the goal of making a name for himself, and maybe even some cash. He names it Viral Hit, and the views just keep rolling in. But this kid who looks like he'd lose a fight to a kitten actually learns how to fight from a mysterious chicken mask dude who teaches him the ropes, everything from blocking to throwing punches like a pro. So if you're looking for an anime that's all about beating up bullies, going viral, and finding your own strength, Viral Hit is your jam. Trust me, it's a knockout. Next up, let's talk about Dragon Raja, an epic ride that's sure to blow your mind. This anime centers on Lou, your everyday high school grad who's just trying to figure out what's next when he gets an acceptance letter from Castle College, a place he's never even heard of. Once he steps foot on campus, Lou learns it's no ordinary school. It's a training ground for future dragon hunters who protect humanity from these terrifying beasts. At first, Lou's like, dragons? Seriously? But soon enough, he sees the whole hidden world of humans versus dragons unfold before his eyes. Suddenly, all that skepticism flies out the window. Life at Castle College is a wild ride, full of challenges and revelations. Lou has to train hard, get stronger, and come to grips with his role in this whole dragon hunting gig. But here's the best part, he doesn't even know the insane potential that's been simmering inside him all along. Once he figures that out, let's just say things get legendary real quick. The animation is stunning, the action scenes are jaw-dropping, and the whole story is pure adrenaline. Trust me, Dragon Raja is an absolute must-watch. Alright, let's talk about Full Dive RPG, a game that's basically reality cranked up to 11. This isn't your typical easy mode isekai, it's a game so realistic. It basically makes your every emotion feel like the real deal. And guess what? Our main guy, Yuki, didn't even want to play it in the first place. A sketchy game shop clerk hustled him into buying it, even though it wasn't exactly flying off the shelves. But hey, once he jumped in, Yuki was hooked. This game actually felt different, like really different. Sadly, that's where his luck nosedived. Poor guy accidentally killed his best friend in the game, no respawns, no second chances, just the harsh reality of consequences. Now, he's stuck with a bad rep and the heavy burden of what he did. To make things worse, he joins the Night Squad to boost his combat skills, but instead of respect, he mostly gets bullied for being the group's weakling punching bag. Talk about tough breaks. Still, you can't help but root for him. Can he really become the hero this world needs? Stick around to find out, you won't want to miss it. Next up to the list is a fun one, cheat skills in another world. Sounds awesome, right? The star of the show is Yuya, a total underdog. Picture this, he's a bullied, overweight, so-called loser, stuck in a fancy high school where everyone's got the looks, the charm, and the popularity, basically everything he doesn't. The only one who truly had his back was his grandpa, but sadly, he's no longer around. Just when Yuya thinks life can't get any worse, he stumbles on his grandpa's hidden little secret door to another world. Boom! Instant isekai. A system pops up, giving him a killer power boost. He can fight monsters, rake in cash, and even bring his new loot back to the real world. But here's the twist, is Yuya also gets a magical makeover, transforming him from zero to hero. Now, he's suddenly the hottest guy around, and girls can't seem to keep their hands off him. If you're a fan of isekai, cheat skills, and a protagonist who goes from bullied underdog to unstoppable heartthrob, this one's gonna be your jam. Machi was a total game changer when it dropped, and it's still one of my all-time favorites, especially with that new season dropping in just a few days. The story seriously gets juicier as it goes. Let's rewind, though, back to that first season. We've got Belle Crenel, this wide-eyed rookie adventurer who's completely starstruck by Ice Wallenstein, the super powerful swordswoman of his dreams. He's literally the only member of the Hestia Familia, which means it's just him and his pint-sized, but totally awesome goddess, Hestia, cheering him on. Belle starts out as the classic underdog. He's pretty much the weakest dude in the dungeon, and everyone knows it. But get this, there's something totally unique about Belle that sets him apart. Thanks to a mysterious talent, and maybe a bit of divine luck, he starts leveling up at a freakishly fast rate, faster than anyone else. Suddenly, the guy who couldn't even swing a sword without tripping over himself is climbing the ranks like crazy. So yeah, if you're a fan of the whole weak to strong, underdog becomes a legend vibe, Machi is the show for you. Coming in hot at number 2 is Berserk of Gluttony, and trust me, it's one wild ride. Fate Graphite is the unlucky hero of this tale, stuck with a lame-sounding skill called Gluttony. At first, it seems like it's good for absolutely nothing, which earns him a one-way ticket to being bullied and treated like garbage. But Fate never actually activated his skill because, well, he didn't even know how it worked. Everything changes when he takes out a thief and suddenly discovers that gluttony is way more than just an annoying hunger. It actually lets him devour the thief's strength and soul. That's when the real fun begins. Fate's appetite for power kicks into high gear, and with every kill, he gets even stronger. Which sounds like the ultimate cheat code, right? But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Using this deadly skill means grappling with its dark side too. It's got that perfect weak to strong vibe, killer action, and solid animation. If you're looking for a dark power fantasy with an underdog who levels up big time, and maybe even questions his own morality along the way, Berserk of Gluttony is a must-watch. Next up, we've got The Rising of the Shield Hero, an anime that really shook up the isekai scene, especially with its first season. Sure, season 2 wasn't exactly fireworks, but the original? Legendary. The story follows Naofumi, your average dude who suddenly gets picked as one of the 4 cardinal heroes. But here's the catch. He's the shield hero, aka the weakest one, mostly just blocking, while the others go full attack mode. To make things worse, He gets totally betrayed and framed for a crime he didn't commit, turning him into public enemy #1 overnight. Talk about rough. Now, instead of giving up, now Fumi is out here grinding, proving everyone wrong. He has to level up, build his reputation, and show the kingdom that blocking isn't just a boring job, it's a legit way to be a powerhouse hero. With a revenge-driven plot and a protagonist who goes from zero to hero against all odds, The Rising of the Shield Hero is a must-watch if you love that satisfying underdog story. Looks like those days of getting picked on are over. You've officially transformed into a total badass. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button to show some love. And don't forget to subscribe so you catch all my new uploads. If you think I left out any awesome anime that deserves a spot on the list, drop your suggestions in the comments, I'm all ears. Or just share your thoughts about the video in general. I always appreciate hearing from you. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.